Good morning, everybody. I'm the Sith Trader. Taking a look this morning at the NQs. We've got all red dots here to start the day. The 15-minute opening radius setting up. We're coming back up for a test into the Bullock session and the New York session BWAP coming off of all-time highs. We've got to be careful here. It is definitely going to be a tumultuous market. With red dots, though, I am interested in trying to look for shorts here. If models and things present, considering a short right here. If this VWAP is going to hold, I'm putting kind of a stop above the highs. Probably a little aggressive there for me to start off here. Ooh. Probably should have waited for the test of this NYSE session VWAP. This is right above. All right, we're looking to get back in here. If, we now see a solid kind of reversal setup. Bit of a trend line now coming off that high. Okay, let's see. Try one more time on this short. Let me just first sweep to new lows of the day, basically. You get that stop to break even here shortly. Get another little push below that 37,700 or 30,705 there. Should probably pull the stop down to 12s if it does. Get flushed down to 7s if they have stops to break even. Automatically managed there for me. That's nice. Now I want to start locking in. Okay. I just hope. Dang. That got me back to even of the day. Minus 1 hour plus, 1 hour on those two trades. And we're coming right back up. So, yeah, now is the time where we kind of let the market feel itself out. It's still running into that resistance in the VWAP. That CVD off the highs is looking pretty good for shorts. If you start to come down and try to break below this trend line, maybe below this 30,760, and I'll mark it back in. Try to get short one more time, maybe. Really, I'm just kind of looking for a quick trade this morning, but then I'm done because I'm going to take my kid to go see this awesome giant train. Right now, I'm going to actually put a stop. This is just the space in the break of this trend line. I would normally have a little higher, but I kind of want to wait for a break at a 30,700 mark. We are inside the 15-minute opening range, but we're finding solid resistance into the NYSE session VWAP after kind of breaking lower and getting below the VWAP for the day. So I am very much looking, throw my stop up here maybe to 02 quarter 75s. The fee. All right, now I'm looking for a sweep down to new lows. Don't want to see the market come back up to test above the VWAP with my trade. The trade will be break even here shortly if we get that flush down to 30,690. Don't love this pop. Right back up in trendline resistance. Probably run my stop down to the 4T area. And then honestly, kind of look to sell one there at 93 quarter, another one if it goes. Moving one of the units down a little further. Stops it. That one. kind of came up from down me there. As we're heading into the lows right now, I'm just aggressively trying my stops and not trying to get as much of this back as you can. Because now I've locked in at plus 2R for the day, more or less, after taking a stop out at 73. And, okay. Well, that's plus $800 for the day, plus 2R, all red dots. They basically got to see how I trade right there. I'm done for the day. I'm going to go take my kid to go see this giant train in the West Chicagoland area. I don't know, it's the biggest steam engine in the world that still exists. But there you go, you got red dots, negative CBD, off the highs. For me personally, let me at least give you this other trade before I get going. I am short Bitcoin right now, coming off the 6740 area. Downside targets to 64,700s. All that. There is the market that is breaking it down now for us. But yeah, that's a pretty good morning. I'll give you the rundown of the breakdown what I did there. Before I get going, this is gonna be one of the quickest sessions I have. Nice Caleb, he caught that too. Caleb getting a banger yesterday and getting payouts here, and I love hearing that. Wow, it keeps going, doesn't it? I mean, that was pretty simple. All red dots, you're finding resistance into the VWAP. Drop trend lines with a 100-tick chart against the lows when they break. You just go with that and trail your stops. I mean, that's generally all that happened there. That's all I did. Nothing super secret. Nothing crazy. Now you're outside of that 15-minute opening range, but today was, yeah. And the fact that you had spent that whole Asian or London session above the VWAPs, and then you're starting to break below and hold them as resistance there for the open with red dots. CVD was starting to tank, and that little bounce we had, all right, here in CVD was not enough to convince me of anything. So, yeah, man, I can't be happier to hear chat's getting the winners today. So let's look at the DayTrader real quick, because that's the consensus of that trade. I mean, seriously, it was kind of like a, what we look for, just a quicker version of Enable and the night session, right? I didn't use an actual range break. I just figured, hey, we were already kind of out of range on the session, right? And for the overnight session there, and into the New York session right here. So we broke that range basically lower, right? With that first push back below the VWAP. And then from there, market retraced into the VWAPs, both the New York session anchored and the Globex session held them as resistance. I was early on one sell off or trade to sell at there, got stopped. Took another one as we broke below, scalped out of that, but be even on the day. And then the big winner was breaking that trend line as you just fall off them and, back down into the daily pivot, all red dots. Simple as that. Really nothing else to do. Okay, Bitcoin, let's take a look at that trade, because I have been talking about wanting to cover these ideas more. Move this over so you can kind of see the indicators on my chart. There's been an anchored BOF here on June 2nd, and that anchored BOF has just clearly produced resistance. So that's where that level came from, along with this downward sloping trend line. If you took the profile of that last drop, we came right up into that point of control at POC level, and it's been holding as resistance. So as I started to see that hold as resistance, and by the way, we got here, let me actually reload these charts for me real quick. Which one is it? This one, standard chart, right? Yep. If I need that. I want you guys to see the 5-minute CVD on this when it loads. If what you had here is in this rally, you had selling. This is open interest down here. And so this rally off the lows, a $2,000 rally yesterday off the lows in Bitcoin, it was on declining open interest. So that's shorts covering, not new longs entering. And that was very much confirmed in the CVD. Look, barely any new longs popped in this. This is a $2,000 rally in Bitcoin, and CVD didn't budge. We basically been flagging below yesterday's lows in CVD. with just, very honestly, the biggest open interest here to open was kind of after coming and turning off that level. So that tells me there's some shorts entering the market, not longs. The volume profile of this entire range has basically been holding, resistance up there. We're starting to break down now. I took the first target already. Then my trade. I'll share this so you can at least see what I'm seeing and kind of start to understand my trading a little bit more. I just took another profit real quick, another first target, and I'll explain in a second. So let me get this up. So it might start to bounce on me. I took a stop trying to get into this trade, hence why I'm in a little bit of a drawdown. I sold a little early, took a stop basically around here. But it's fine, right? It was acceptable. It was whatever, risk $1,000 on that. What I did here was I get into 4 lot. Both of these entries here, I got into 2. You want 2 units each. The first was I took a profit target on this kind of first downdraft. The second one I just took profit target just now. You can see those right here. Take profit. Market filled here. Just it's 66.70 just moments ago. Taking one of them off. One of the shorts off. Where's my other one? Well, filled take profit right here was filled at 66.90. So my 2 take profits are 66.90 and 66.70 here for these 2. Okay, so those trades are now free. Basically, the stops. Stop also have it as the highs. It's risk free for at least this setup. But downside targets here are the 68, 64.80 area, and then 60,000 way down there. 60,000 is probably not going to. Probably not going to trade. I'll probably be out way before. But 64.80 here, that is very much just from the anchored VWAP that I previously mentioned, which I could throw it up on this chart so we can see it maybe without everything else. Cluttering it up. I can find the anchored VWAP. I love this bounce right now. Stop bouncing. But this is Bitcoin for you. It has a tendency to really love these deep retracements on every time frame. Like basically, if you want it for Bitcoin, get ready to feel pain. That's interesting. I guess. So now I'm showing the every time frame. They refresh the charts. Maybe that's the issue here. Of course, it's not on the chart now. Where was it? No, we just does not want to work on these charts. That's unfortunate, but that's fine because you can. That's fine because for all intents and purposes, we don't need my breakout charts anymore. It's this VWAP right here, and its standard deviation line is right down here at 64,800. That's how it came. So when we went up and traded into that VWAP, that anchored VWAP, standard deviation down there at 64,800 at the time. Standard deviation 3 line at the time of entry, where when it traded the VWAP becomes the swing target. And that's all. That's how I developed that. That's how that level, became part of my trade plan, right? So, with all that being said, folks, let's take a quick look at the. Holy smokes! And Nasdaq is moving today, so we basically pulled back into some anchor VWAP from some other time. I don't even know. We basically have pulled back into the daily pivot, rally back up now to find it as resistance. All red dots here, so be careful. Let me see if there is any other kind of trade setups I would have wanted to take here today. Yeah, not really. New York session VWAPs coming down, 30,666. Day sessions at 30,692. They went down and swept the lows of the day. Couldn't take out yesterday's lows. I mean, well, in a bit, there's a trend line somewhere in there that traded. But careful on this bounce and with red dots, because those kind of mounts could take you all the way back to the highs of the day kind of thing. But we do have red dots, so there's obviously a solid short entry signal here from this point. You got negative CVD off the highs. Red dots, I would argue, yeah, you probably are got a trend line here off the lows too that's trying to break to some capacity. You're getting below short-term moving EMAs. I mean, I would still be looking for shorts today. You know, little bear flags to continuation lower while dots are red. But that does it for me, folks. I am going to go touch some grass. You got my rundown on Bitcoin and the NASDAQ. Provided a quick early trade. I was done within 15 minutes of the open. I mean, technically I was done last night with our Globex Forcesweep, right? But hey, we came in here to try to sim trade a little bit to showcase what we do. And of course, we've got that Bitcoin short on right now, which I don't love that we bounced. I was kind of expecting more of a flush out, especially with the risk off we've seen in the stock indices. But my stops are free. I'll be interested to sell, you know, maybe closer to that 70,000 level. Basically step out to that 4-hour time frame now. Look at where the big anchored. You know, if you anchor the view up off the highs, we didn't really hold. We held basically anchored from that 81,004. I'm sorry, that the last 81,000 high. You could see if we stashed through, you know, how this market traded. You can clearly see trading up in that 7,700 area, right? You come down, the target from that was down to 72s. When we traded down to 72s, I anchored from that new high. You can see the next in the series traded here at 74, went down, hit its targets when it was trading up at 74. Basically, 70,000 area was its targets. And then, you know, we're more or less waiting in anchored VWAPs from, you know, kind of this area, either the highest high or the last peak before the drop. And those two levels, I'm going to make those a little bigger here because they are more important. If we get a more substantial rally, I'd be looking at, you know, those with a little bit more conviction into that 70 area, which is why I say if there's a rally up there, I want it. I'd be looking to be selling, not blindly, but like, you know, watching CVD and all the other things. But if you know, when you broke down the 15-minute time frame, there took over some other VWAPs, anchored VWAPs that started to hold more aggressively. And this happens to be one, you know, I sold into yesterday that provided enough of a reaction to get free. And by the way, it took you down into, you know, an anchored VWAP off the lows. That's a kind of a first target area for me as well. Is like put up the counter trend trade and use that as a target for getting first take your pieces of your trade off, because if you're raw, it's going to bounce from that area, right? And it's going to turn into an uptrend that takes you into better selling areas. But, you know, for the time being, I see no reason to be bullish this market. It's a long story short. But we'll see. Broader and larger downtime. If I go out to the daily chart for Bitcoin here, you can see the big anchored VWAP off the highs that came in around 84. You didn't even really trade it. But the scary thing about that level is your downside target basically from that is down to like 40 to 45. And so that's a big reason why I don't think there's, you know, we've got a long way down. And the reason why I've got, you know, a trade on with a runner to 60,000, you know, I might move that down to 50,000 just because there's nothing that says you can't have a down day. $10,000 down day. I mean, it happens. But I can't tell you how many people said right here at 73,000, oh, there's no way tomorrow we'll go down to 63,000. Well, guess what? There's one of your $10,000 down days at the very end of one of those drops. So if this drop is anything like any one of these rollovers, you get the acceleration in the biggest candles at the end of the move. not a facade. At the start, that's how highs form. When you get them at the start. So when you get in the body and towards the end of a trend, you get the biggest downdrafts, usually towards the end when there's less liquidity, buyers, basically it's just sellers piling in and then getting trapped, right? All that volume gets trapped at lows and then you have a reversal set up. But, yeah, I mean, I've got potential downside targets towards that 40 area. If you really want to get down to it, right? 40,000 area. To take you down to trend line support. Honestly, I think we could go below 30 or 20 just to squeeze out guys like Michael Saylor. But you're effectively coming back down and flirting with the old all-time highs from 2022. If you go and you look at, why does this not go back for 2020? Because it's a perp contract. But my point is that the previous all-time highs were like at 30,000. Here, let's actually, let me bring up just BTC USD so we can go back. There you go. Yeah, so that old prior high was at 19K. We go and we dip into that. We went to 14K. We have $5,000 in, which is really testing down into the, this area, right? And if you go back before that, we were doing the same thing with prior levels at other times, right? So the propensity for this market to dip into this all-time high, hey, if it dips in $5,000 against a high that's at 19, that's a 20% dip into its level. That means that dipping 20% into 68, 70,000, that takes you down to 40. So yeah, big reason why I am still not convinced in a low. I'm still a net seller. It's been printing for me lately. I passed multiple 200K throughs in this downdraft because of it. Unfortunately, got greedy, and you guys all saw me on Friday giving back $4,000, which just hurt. I tilted on that account, buckled down on Friday into Sunday, Monday. This week, passed to 24, another one, which is, by the way, another $24,000 in potential in sim profit you have to hit. But once I got to that point, then it's easy street. Now that now the account is trading, 1 to 4 lots, Bitcoin getting free, and you guys have seen me taking $1,000, $1,000 to $2,000 out of the market at the time, and per trade, and then then you just sweep that out and pay out, and keep paying yourself like that. Let's look at the Nasdaq real quick. Yeah, definitely the need to trade back to these VWAPs is kind of, I think, underhand, but I think you got a very clear now bear flag or lines in the sand to start looking for sweeps lower and momentum pushes below with red dots if and when they happen. So, all right, everybody, I'm out. I'm gonna go look at a giant train with my kiddo. Have a great day. The CVD I use here, yeah, I believe these are, I gotta wear my indicators. So this is about this script here, constant volume bar, delta chart. I believe it's a trading view indicator. Yep. And I just kind of have it set up. You could put it as a lower indicator, have it as Instagram. I like to use it as a line instead of the Instagram. This is too much on my chart. I just like the line. But this one allows you to set it for multiple purposes. In this case, I had it. You can take a look. The settings on the chart are set for on a entire time frame. So then kind of give me the one on the chart, at least, right? Resets every once in a while to kind of give you a relative idea. The one down here that I have on the chart, which is the CVD, it's a similar. I don't believe this is natively trading view, but this one lives as its own candles or bars or a line, in a lower subgraph. I set this one to the whole day session, or basically for all the books. Okay. So I set it for as far back as the chart is, so that I have kind of an idea of the broader CV for a while. And then this is open interest down at the bottom, which, EV plus open interest plus IM plus price levels tells me time participation and price all at once, so that you can create a narrative for who's doing what when. It's a big reason why I think and saw this rally, this 2,000 point rally in the Bitcoin, was during a decline in open interest. So not new buyers, that was short covering. So have a good one, everybody, and we'll be back with you tomorrow and as price action develops. I'm the Sith Trader. Remember, trading futures and vol risk is not suitable for everybody, and everything I talk about here today is just my opinion and not a direct trade recommendation. Have a good one, Chalo, for congrats on the payout, man, and hopefully everybody else is heard in that.